Critical Tumble, where a bunch of longtime friends and internet nerds transcend geography through the power of Discord to play Dungeons and Dragons. I mean really transcend geography, because we've got somebody in entirely not the same place. Unfortunately, it doesn't transcend New Year's Eve plans, but, shit happens, so hence we are missing a Clarity and an Ava, but we do have an Ethan back, which is actually probably well-timed given where we left things last night. Well, last session, you know what I mean. It's been a long few weeks. Previously, the Cupcake Coterie is still trying to clean up some of their mess in Ambier. And one of the issues was the recently fallen, formerly Scourge Azamar, who were being guards. A fair few of them are apparently entirely pissed off with events as they currently stand. They took a shot at Barnabas and his new girlfriend Cherie, which was a massive mistake on their parts. And Hazel, of course, was incredibly concerned about the other individual in Ambier they particularly care about, and, his family, being her biological father, Andrin. So they went back to the Bone Orchard after meeting up a slightly blood-covered Barnabas, and Hazel asked for an omen. Hazel got one, and the apparent thing was that, the question was, what can we do to get them safe? What can we do within the next 7 days to get them safe? The omens involved fire and getting them to someplace safe in Barrensveer for a while. The fire aspect happened, which Alice kind of did some scanning from the air, found their home, because obviously they don't live in the little thatched cottage workshop, which is actually ironic. They don't even know what the house previously looked like, because when they got there, it was very, very much on fire. They ran into the adopted kids, who were apparently kind of stuck in a building that shouldn't have caught that much fire that fast, but then a lady with wings smashed through the window and got them out. So people are apparently safe, or at least the kids are. Darvin, being Darvin, was like, we need more people with, buckets. I'm going to go get a bucket brigade. We need actual guards. Because there were only a few, still non-fallen Azamar, and an awful lot of actual fallen Azamar. And when Darvin went out to get some actual guards, which we'll cope with in a minute, because Darvin probably got about 3 blocks before he realized, I'm not entirely sure where I need to go to find guards. Of course, we'll deal with that in a minute. But anyway, the point is that house was on fire. The kids at least were out. There was a lot more fighting than there was actually putting out the fire. And in fact, in the course of the fight, a couple of other buildings in the immediate vicinity were also set on fire because of an overzealous use on the part of the fallen Azamar of Wall of Fire. If you see the map, Ethan, that red square, it's sort of way out where Barnabas is. That was where the Wall of Fire was, and the things on the black squares on either side are houses, and the owie part was facing outward. Woomph. Yeah, apparently these fallen Azamar don't give a fuck. Rylan didn't give much of a fuck either about maybe we should let them go for now and start putting shit out, because their immediate response to them trying to port out was counterspell at least one of them, which was great because we were about past time at that point and I wanted to finish the damn session, but no, Rylan was out for blood, metaphorically. their last move was casting blight on somebody and having them, you know, drank from the wrong grail. He chose poorly by setting shit on fire. But fact is, they now have a situation where, well, it's them and about half a block being on fire. Before we deal with any of that, we're going to deal with Darvin, who, like I say, got about 3 blocks, went, wait a minute, where do I go to find guards? Make me an intelligence check, please. Please roll well. It takes a minute.
12.
It takes a minute, but, like, okay. Lend set up headquarters in the basement of the of Her Grace's bower. If I head in that direction, hopefully people will have got the message by this point, but if they haven't, because one thing Clarity flagged up was that, unfortunately, they, particularly in winter, there tends to be a lot of, smoke from chimneys and that kind of thing. They're kind of into air quality, so apparently there's some kind of filtering magic somewhere along the line, so you can't see a whole lot in the way of smoke. So now I would like Darvin to make me an athletics check and pray it's as good as the one I rolled for him when they were trying to run to the place.
14.
You're doing it, but you're going to hurt later. And yeah, then of course I'm gonna hand of fate this next one, but first I need my dice. Consistently running out of space on this desk. Alright. Yeah, you don't exactly take any wrong turns, but you don't make use of any available shortcuts either, because you can't remember them off the top of your head. So it takes you a little while to get into into Her Grace's bower. And yeah, we're going to roll the hand of fate again because... Yeah, can you make me a dex save, please? You
18.
managed to duck the flying bottle. Because there's another judiciary fight in progress. You vaguely recall that those are the same dudes who you saw in the halls of justice, who are still apparently bitching about their respective blueberry bush. And now you're going to need to make me a dexterity check because you need to get through the crowd to get to the basement.
20.
Yeah, you're a bard. Excuse me, pardon me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
excuse me,
without even stepping on feet, which is great. The only thing you get is the occasional glare when you block someone shorter's view, and that's only briefly. So it's sort of, excuse me, pardon me, sorry. And
doing the church finger the whole way through.
And the thump down the stairs, and when you get in, Len kind of looks up at you like, oh fuck, what now?
And there's fire. And I'll give the location.
You're coming with us to
show.
That was
me for that.
Yes, I know, but basically all you know is House of the Shipwright is on fire. And,
Yep.
yeah, like, since you
Yeah.
can't really give us an address, apparently, you're going to have to lead the way.
So yeah,
This is
doing exactly that.
this is obviously going to take a little while. So, um, I mean, to be fair, the other thing Darwin knows is that they were also walking into a fight at the time, mostly on the basis of. Sorry, Smeagol, why was there a little thought bubble with a thumbs up on it popped up right next to you?
Oh, that's probably one of Discord's new settings.
I don't want to know. I just don't want to know.
Yeah, it looked like something Mac or iPad related.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a Discord setting. It basically has a bunch of new little icons for what you're doing, and apparently that's stapled to how it behaves. Yeah, it's just a Discord thing.
I'm going to have to look through my settings because I don't want it. I don't want people emoji. I don't want to be emojiing at people without my consent.
I agree. I like to
Anyway,
dig around as well.
anyway, meantime, uh, the fight is over. People are doing a whole lot better than you'd think, thanks to Hazel's uh, very powerful bit of healing. And Clarity had already run off to try to find somebody with water and buckets. And Ava, who's coping as best she can with the with the blaze, is going. I'm going to get the kids and take them back to the bone orchard. I mean, it's Alice. She's going to know that we're going to take them the safest place they can. And I figure somebody has to stay in the vicinity. Darwin's going to be coming back, so. And starts
That tracks.
herding kids in the direction of away. Does stop and go, if I see Clarity on the way, I'll ask her to stay. So there's, I mean, all right, we're going to be with Nyala and Alana, so we're probably a little. It's always good to have extra help with the protecting people. Also, it's the twins. I think impressionable young and twins probably needs more of a filter than just Nyala.
Oh boy.
And yeah, given the fight was a little bit extended, Darwin and the contingent of guards probably run into the bucket brigade at about, a few blocks away. Um, and Darwin will notice that there's a lot more building on fire than there was when he was here the last time. It was just one the last time. Now there's like half a block. And they all the guards look at you.
It's in the time I got to you guys. It spread. I'm sorry.
And
Yeah.
how did it spread an alley? I can understand. How did it spread across a road? To be
Out of
fair,
character. Was I there during the wall of fire?
no. Thankfully for you, because given
Okay.
your
So
position,
then,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, that's the thing. They're as glancing in his direction, they're still walking. So you probably heard a bellow of, "How did the fire spread across a road?" And guards appear, along with a bucket brigade that apparently really wants more buckets now.
It was a wall of fire. It was a whole thing.
Is there any sound of pedestrians in danger inside any buildings?
Make me a perception check because it's all kinds of mess right now. Ethan,
Whoops.
if you were saying something, we didn't hear it. Okay. Oh, fuck. You poor thing.
Mm.
No, currently you were probably about to start looking and then guards turned up and it's like, this is probably guard stuff. Assholes got away, I don't know where Alice is, and this is a mess. If anybody else wants to make a perception check about, I think you were looking, the word you were looking for is residents rather than pedestrians. People in houses.
Innocent bystanders in danger.
That's another good one, yeah.
Nope, I'm too near the guards.
Head on a rotary.
I just hear
circle.
guard noise.
Yeah, to be fair, there is an awful lot of burning and things going crunch and people trying to create an awful lot of water at this point. But Hazel and, of course, it's friggin' Barnabas do kind of... they're hearing... It's less, like, yelling and calling for help as people desperately trying to climb out of first story for you guys windows because pretty clearly the stairs are a problem, but then again the entire outsides of buildings are on fire right now, so there's going to be some ow as they try to get out.
Well, Barnabas immediately starts trying to help people because guard fire. It kind of
Yeah,
Remy follows Barnabas.
yeah, to be fair, Hazel and Barnabas are probably hearing from two different houses just on the basis of standing in two moderately different places. So, yeah, I'm going to need Barnabas to make me first an athletics check with advantage because Remy is helping.
right.
Why are you rolling with it? Oh, because help action. No, yeah, you're definitely you're definitely helping lower people down, although it's more almost handing them off to Remy because you're the one who's 6.5 feet tall, and
hmm
she's like down there. Uh,
Bucket chain of life, baby.
but I'm also going to have to ask you to make me a dex save.
Gotcha. Turn advantage off.
Which is a pity, but Remy can't help you with that. It's not so much damaged, but you know the smell of singed fur. You're probably going to have to go back to the bathhouse to sort some of this before you're next out with Cherie.
Yeah,
Because,
worth
well, yeah, it's just I mean, the tuft on your tail has definitely seen better days. Just like get them out of the burning back garden, which was probably somebody's actually really good kitchen garden, and they're lamenting that as much as anything inside the house because of course they fucking are. This is Ambier, and you come out, you sort of look at your tail and just like, aw.
I'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, you're not actually hurt, which is a good thing. It's just, that's a lot of heat, and can't always be careful with your tail when you're focusing on other things. What is Hazel doing? Is Hazel also...
Yeah, I'm basically just making attempts to help in any way physically possible.
Okay, is anyone assisting her? Because you see Hazel head into... Okay,
I'm
so...
following Hazel.
Okay, so also an athletics check with advantage for Hazel, because Rylan is helping.
Okay, that should be the advantage button, and 19.
Yeah, you managed to help people get out of various windows, partially because Rylan is taller than you, so it's kind of helping with to just keep people steady a bit. Although there's quite a moment when like 6 cats use you as kind of step stool, so it's boing off Rylan's head, boing off Hazel's head, boing onto the ground. And like I say, 6 of them, so in unison, bunk, 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 bunk. They're the shorter-haired ones are fine. There's one that is the weirdest damn thing either of you have ever seen because it has no fur at all. And at first you're like, did all its fur get burned off? No, it looks fine, but... And one probably was fluffy, but is now mostly, like, about an inch of that fluff has been burned off, and now it's... That cat is not naturally black, it's just... It is now. It does not look very pleased with the situation one tiny bit.
Don't imagine it would be.
But yes, between you, you do manage to, yeah, you, as far as you can tell, with, with checking in with bucket brigades and the like, you do manage to assist all the people that need assistance getting out, and, the family with the multiple cats are kind of attempting to calm the former floof down. It doesn't seem to be working very well. Any of you who have been on Tumblr have ever seen that one GIF with the fireman rescuing that cat? It just looks like, "'Twas I who set the house ablaze!"
Oh my god!
Like that, but more, singed. Okay, so everybody seems to have escaped from their burning homes. At the very least, the fire doesn't seem to be spreading any further. Um, the survivors have not managed to rescue very much, but you will notice that each and every one of them, the portable prized cannot be replaced item they carried out with them is basically cookbooks. Home written recipe books or those little boxes with like recipe cards on them. Every one of them is carrying something that says recipe on them. And as I say, when Hazel and Rylan get back out, you do get one young couple mourning their kitchen garden.
Concern and now registering. Wait. Oh no, we came here for a thing. Specifically, family member saving. Oh crap, where's the husband? My brain just pinging between that and the people I just helped, and like, oh no.
Yeah, Hazel has now done that I am vapor locked thing.
System error, cleric is locked until further notice.
And Clarity unfortunately cannot help you here. I mean, what are the rest of y'all doing? Because that would have taken a while.
Darwin was trying to join in with the one of the sets of hands for the bucket brigade.
Yeah, to
Because
be
he's not
fair,
really in a situation like this. He's not really good for much else. At least that he could think of in the moment.
that's fair. But to be fair, most of the bucket chaining, there isn't all that much bucket chaining because the buckets are being filled by people with an awful lot of create water, or a
Hmm.
couple of monks of the variety that Furseth would be a hell of a lot more familiar with. And Farida, what's she up to?
Um, like early on, probably would have tried to do what she can to control the flame, but prestidigitation's not going to handle flames this big, so not a whole lot to do there. Um,
So basically, just trying to, possibly one bit of ice breath on a particularly bad area, and then joining the bucket brigade.
yeah, and maybe haste a couple people if it might help uh, get things faster. But if it's all create water, that doesn't really affect that.
Under normal circumstances, I would have that spell, but it is not prepared for me this fine day. So
Yeah, I rolled the hand of fate to see if that was going to be allowed, and that was a nat 1, so no, it would not help in this case.
Yeah, I didn't think so. So yeah, just basically the frost breath on a part that it would help, and then helping with the buckets.
Yeah, given how intelligent Farida is, it would probably occur to her that the loss of time with with that stun you get at the end of a haste would probably counterbalance the usefulness of the actual haste spell. Because all of a sudden you've got a member of your bucket brigade just stopping in the middle, and you don't really want that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, we'll say about a half hour later the flames aren't out, but you can see they're more under control. So the bucket brigade's more or less got this, and you see Hazel basically standing in the middle of your intersection in full Hazel system error moment.
Oh no.
Oh boy. Hazel, hand on shoulder. Hazel,
ah,
what is it? Well, use your words. Use your words.
Dad, his husband, where?
I have 0 NPC that can help you here, so I mean, beyond potentially Flitty, but Flitty is probably sort of scrambled out a very protective spot around in Ryland's scarf and going, I think I'm gonna need to be the emotional support fairy dragon for the Hazel Lady for a bit. Boing! Oopsie.
Rich. Just immediately just petting Flitty to try and reboot.
Yes, I think you need more words in regular order, and then a full stop. We are here to help if you
Okay,
can communicate how we can help you.
we came here to do a rescue, specifically of my dad and his husband. Alice, as best I understand, Alice, they went ahead to find them. We need to be catching up to that.
Remy looks at her ring.
With the appropriate gestures, you're finding that the ring is apparently pointing you um, It's not even really back at the city. It's more sort of around. So it's something you're probably going to have to triangulate because she's probably on the move. And give me a... Oh, both of these are going to be bad. It's going to have to be an intelligence check. Oh, there
That
you
way.
go. Yes, but more than that, it's that from the direction and from what you remember about how the city was laid out, it looks like she is attempting to go in the general direction of not the Bone Orchard, but the Governor's Palace, just from an angle. You're not sure why the angle, but you're probably going to want to check the ring again just to make sure you're on relatively right path.
Chill and get moving, assuming people will follow.
Yeah, so it's she's just like that way and starts walking.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
Darvin will still a hand on Hazel's shoulder, be like, I follow, and kind of gently, not dragging, but like, come on.
Yeah, I'm allowing myself to be followed now that we've salvaged what happened here.
More or less, but
So to follow rather and be dragged.
I imagine that Barnabas is probably going to at least stop to talk to Tag long enough to say we will deliver a full report back at Her Grace's Bower. Because
Oh, yeah.
he'd be like that. So, yeah, your response is, you damn well better. Because I really want an explanation for this bullshit. No
You'll
offense.
get one. None taken.
And yeah, so off you guys head. Yeah, I had been rolling things, but yeah, because of the route that you are taking, and you know, Remy sort of checking every now and again to reorient. You turn down one alley that Remy is pretty sure is a shortcut, and find turning into the alley from another side street is Davith, the red-haired elven gentleman who is Andron's husband. Fancy meeting you here?
Yes, there's been a bit of trouble. Are you alright?
Of course I am. I always take walks in my night clothes. I'm sorry, it has been a very rough evening. Yes, I am aware that my house was on fire. Where are my children?
Our friend has taken them to the Bone Orchard. Well, they'll be very safe there.
Ah, yes. I've been nudged in that general direction on the understanding that I'm probably not the one anybody wants to be mad at this point.
Have you seen a winged woman and also your husband?
Can somebody with a brain please ask me questions? Barnabas, it's pretty clear that Alisei got him out of the building. Probably his husband too, or he'd be freaking out a lot more. This is not rocket science, guys.
No. Our friend Alice, we think, got you out of the building. She was the one with the wings.
Yes.
Did you see where she went?
Last I saw, she was ways that way. Further down the alley, I'm kind of basically further down this alley. Take a left, and it's a little ways. I think part of the reason that I am moving on my own is because there was apparently pursuit, and of the two of us, Andrin was apparently the one who needed the protection with weapons. Do I get an explanation for this at any point?
Yes,
I
but
understand later, but I just want to make sure you're not the kind of adventurers who blow in, go, it be like that, and then leave again.
once
No.
everybody is safe in the Bone Orchard, yes, explanation.
Well, apparently Andrin is being taken in a halls of justice direction. Didn't really have the time to explain why, but I'm assuming it has something to do with reports to higher authorities. I'm going to leave you to whatever it is you're attempting to do and go find my kids. And yeah, pads off in pajamas, bathrobe, and slippers that are, for some reason, shaped like bumblebees.
And Remy keeps on moving.
Yeah.
Okay?
Barnabas is going to follow for sure.
Oh yeah, no, I figured that. I know that everybody seems a little nonverbal today, but I will, I will make assumptions at this point because there's no point in doing anything else because y'all are you and you're gonna do as you're gonna do. A little ways further on, what you do find is a couple of unconscious fallen Azamar who have been tied very comprehensively to lampposts. They have clearly been hit. They have clearly been hit a lot, but they do not seem to be bleeding. So,
Alright, that's a good sign. Follow the
That much
trail
screams
of,
Alice was here.
Yeah.
follow
Barnabas,
the trail of carnage.
Barnabas,
relatively.
Barnabas, you are the intelligent one. Faraday, you are the one who wants to know everything. You guys killed yours. Why didn't she? She must have had a reason. She's her. She's...
Mm-hmm.
She wouldn't... She would... If she was trying that hard to let somebody, like, live, because clearly that was difficult to do when she normally has scimitars and just slicey
Yeah.
dicey. There has to be a reason she did this. The rest of you are just either that's a good sign or, yeah, I'll say it was here.
Why didn't she kill him? She kept him alive, tried to keep him alive deliberately.
Probably so we can question them later.
Huh.
No, because Barnabas and Faraday, again, because interested in magic and smart in general, speak with dead. You guys haven't had time to speak to Jessamy yet.
We have speak with dead. Why would... No, there's got to be something else.
Oh.
We'll ask her.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, while you guys are moving, however, I would like any of you who are devoting any kind of brain power to it to give me an intelligence check. It's okay if you decide that you're not thinking about it. I can sympathize with that.
12.
Barnabas, damn.
In the clutch again, dude. Damn.
MVP.
A lot of mileage out of +2 intelligence. He really does.
Yeah, but to be fair, that doesn't.
Oh, I know.
That's a nat 20. That's a thing. So okay. Most people generally are not actually thinking all that hard about it. For Farida is Farida's overthinking it. She's going too far into magical uses or what sort of thing, and Rylan is just in way over their head in general.
Yeah.
Barnabas be like, okay, Fallen is Fallen is sort of black shit adjacent, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. But if black shit was going to whisper through the walls of the world and talk to anybody, it'd probably be ones who are already fallen. And there's a whole lot of bullshit about the black shit and its bits of crap that you don't know, but you do know that it's a thought-ish, spirit-ish, mimetic entity thing. So Alisaie's probably got either a suspicion or some actual clues somewhere along the line that indicate we probably do not want to kill them, because it's either that or potentially uncharacteristic mercy.
Hmm. Could you think it's related? They're related to the black shit somehow? It's either that or she's sparing them for reasons I do not understand.
To be fair, Remy does know that a fall that's not related to the black shit you can come back from. And if it is related to the
That
black
too.
shit, maybe the black shit doesn't want them coming back.
Maybe she thinks she can help them.
Okay, that's in line with Alice. That's for sure.
And
Guess we just gotta find her and find out.
yeah, still moving, and by the time you've followed your various bits and pieces, uh, attempting shortcuts, they don't always work, but knowing which way the ring is tugging is generally good. By that point, you have actually reached the stairs of the governor's palace, and standing at the door are a couple of fairly nonplussed-looking guards, both of whom Barnabas recognizes as having been the ones who took Cherie's statement when y'all came back from date.
Evening, gentlemen.
I'm on duty, so you're going to have to forgive me for the phrasing I'm about to use here. What got fucked up this time? Same,
Fallen Asthma.
same,
Fallen
same,
Asthma.
same
Yeah.
shit, different modus operandi.
Same shit, different assholes.
Well, the same class of assholes if it's fallen Azambar all the way down.
Hmm.
Yes, because your winged friend brought one of our primary shipwrights in here a little while ago. The governor is not seeing anyone until he's done hearing their statements, and I hesitate to give you relationship advice, but you owe Cherie the best cupcake. And the other one is like, I can tell you where to get the best cupcake.
Oh, please do. I would be interested in that even without
Darwin's
owing
ears
that for
perked up
sure.
at that one too. Like, oh,
So this is there's a place called Lorraine's. It's a little shop on the edge of the Street of Plenty. They're best known for their chocolate cheesecake cupcakes. It's a chocolate cupcake filled with a sweet cream cheese filling.
Oh. Thank you.
Yes, Cherie likes those. She's unfortunately on. We're calling it overtime because it sounds better than protective custody. But actually, it's great that you've turned up. Again, pardon the informality, but it's late. Um, the governor did want to speak to you in particular. I mean, all of you as well on similar matters, I'm assuming, but you specifically. Yes.
Eh?
Yes.
Mm.
But in the meantime, if you'd like to come in and take a seat, uh, Cherie has put the coffee on and she's broken out the emergency cookies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Uh,
And
Darvin will walk over and start and prestidigitate a little bit, just in case there's any of the smell left on part of us, if that's okay.
when my flare got singed, you're not getting that out with that. Trust me, I've tried.
And as you enter, you do see that one. To be fair, none of you except maybe Barnabas have seen something like this before, but just this massive kind of urn with a little spigot. Barnabas has a precinct. He's seen a coffee urn. But weirdly, it still smells gorgeous. And there's two different plates with different kinds of cookies. One smells kind of spicy sweet, and the other one is just chocolate chip shortbread.
Dust. Barnabas is immediately like, biggest mug available, coffee, yes.
Shuri is looking up from the paperwork she's doing to keep herself occupied, and like, still a long night, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna have so much paperwork.
I am so sorry.
I
help.
I will take that as sympathy and not as an actual apology, because this isn't your fault.
I know, but it's
You
more.
are you are not the asshole setting places on fire, apparently.
No, but I've had to fill out ridiculous paperwork for ridiculous reasons due to assholes more than once in my life, so is there any way I can help you?
Unfortunately, no, but I would like to point out that I've had to fill out paperwork for dumb things long before you came to town. Please recall the Blueberry Bush duo.
Mm.
The guards are amusing themselves with stories about how to deal with them, and one of them started with sending them both to man a blueberry plantation, and then one of them starts up with, "Oh my God, they were roommates," and comments about there was only one bed, and trying to turn it into an enemies to lovers story. I don't even know.
I mean, it's gonna be that, or there can be only one, and the other one's gonna end up beheaded. I mean,
And of course, Darfin will now probably remember that it's those two he saw fighting at the. He's not saying anything, is he?
Very, making notes, and yeah, they were fighting. They were going at it. Bad choice of words. They were fighting when at the and yeah.
oh, cool.
It's not that's just.
No, actually, it was a very very heated fight, but.
I mean, to be fair, those bunch are so overheated that they're probably going to start making comments about, pinning them to the wall and smoldering glances, etc., etc., etc. They require lives.
Darwin's in his notes and had actually written smoldering as a word to use as he's going to compose something. Oh, come on. If anybody's going to compose a fanfic-related song, it's going to be Darwin.
Oh yeah, no, I'm
Fuck,
laughing.
okay.
I'm laughing because it's accurate basically. And yes, do try the cookies. One is chocolate chip shortbread, and the other is maple ginger snaps with turmeric.
Oh, nice.
And then please sit down. You're just going to be pacing, and that can't be comfortable for anybody.
All right. Barnabas will sit down if there's a chair close to Terry, he'll absolutely be going there.
Well, of course, she's sitting at the desk, and the seats are kind of facing the desk, but you can sit so you're appropriately facing. After a little while of that, just mostly watching her fill out paperwork, the door to the double doors that people come through open a crack. The half-orc who was delivering stuff kind of peers out, shuts the door again. A couple of minutes after that, peers out again. Barnabas Stumblefink, if you'd like to come in.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's clearly set up a little bit more informally than it was the last time you were here.
Mm-hmm.
And it means you're the first of the bunch to actually see Hazel's biological father, and it's kind of obvious that this is Hazel's human parent. The way Hazel's ears kind of stick out slightly. It looks rather different when it's rounded ears, but same principle. Lacking the auburny highlights that Hazel's managed to pick up. His hair is kind of unruly, probably needs a cut, and just the mousiest brown. Eyes are bright green, and currently he's... You know that Hazel... I am impatient, I am nervous, I need to do something, sort of half bounce in the seat while wringing hands. Well, he's doing that.
Oh, good God, that's where I get the mania from.
You didn't get any of the clues that I've dropped about him thus far.
Oh, no, plenty of them. I figured there was some level of vibration. I just didn't get that it was the full mania of Xeroxing itself.
Well, you probably weren't getting it from your mother. High elves generally do not be like that. And yes, Hazel does in fact have his nose. Sitting next to him is, Alice's done her best with prestidigitation to a point, but she has a lot of hair, she has a lot of feather. She's probably going to need to use mending on them to a point, because you do not fly through a building that is on fire and not get some wings sort of singed. And the Half-Orc kind of gestures Barnabas to what's effectively a witness seat.
Barnabas takes a seat and sort of goes, oh. Little neck crack.
Governor Zet is kind of looking at him like, comfy?
Yes, sir.
Alright, I've had one side of this particular story. I decided to bring you in first, at least in part, because you tend to be the better at providing succinct reports. Can you please tell me what went on this evening, in your own words?
Certainly. Just to make sure I personally remember all this correctly, we were going to find... Basically, we were looking to make sure Hazel's dad was safe and realized buildings were on fire, so we rushed there, right?
Okay, I'll bullet point it for you.
Thank you.
Hazel Omen,
Hazel, right.
because he's clearly going to want to know how you knew when he didn't. On arrival, not just on fire. 4 non-fallen guardsmen dead. A couple of fallen guardsmen dead. Most fled. Unfortunate collateral property damage. No casualties beyond. And because you have Vibrati person, Davith, Brian, Tabitha, sorry, Trisha. So, Davith, Brian, Trisha, the husband and the kids, safe at Bone Orchard right now.
All right. So Hazel got an omen that the gestures to her father was in danger, which is why we were even going into the area. When we arrived, there was remains of a fracas between fallen and non-fallen Asimov guardsmen. Buildings were on fire. We acted to contain and disperse the fallen guardsmen. Most fled, unfortunately. His spouse and children were escorted safely, and they're actually at the Bone Orchard now.
And
We did.
the vibrating stops a little bit, just to the... Okay, I feel better now.
There was no other casualties other than property. I got a little singed, but other than that, that's basically where we're at.
Alice is looking and going, I gather, and you should be saying this if I'm right, there were no civilian casualties, that you all were responsible for rescue?
Oh yeah, as soon as we were started rescuing people as soon as the fallen were routed.
But here's that is. Alright. I was actually hoping to speak with you all anyway for a few reasons, and it seems I likely will not need to speak to the others, which will save some time. Now, obviously, this is a mess. And obviously, it does need to be cleaned up. And given that you were immediately responsible for it, it probably does need to be resolved by you. However, there is still the issue of apologies that require making to various of my fellow governors. However, this should not be more than an hour or so out of anybody's day, and as I am given to understand it, at least one of your number can cast a teleportation circle more than once a day.
Correct.
So is there any particular reason you could not simply go to teleport there, say first thing in the morning, spend an hour or so apologizing, and then come back here and start cleaning up the mess?
Not when you put it like that, sir. No, there is no reason we could not do that. That sounds like an excellent idea.
Yes, and I will be entirely fair, that was not my idea. That would be my secretary's. And that's the main reason it should be you that I was speaking to. As we have already had demonstrated for us, there are a few people for whom this city is not particularly safe at this time. Also, my secretary has not taken a vacation in 6 years by her own inclination. And most of you, present company accepted, thank you, have difficulties with diplomatic communication and time management.
Yes.
To give your feathered friend here something of a respite, I would like her to be attached to you as an assistant for some of these jaunts. If you're using a teleportation circle rather than a straight up teleport, that should not be an issue.
Barnabas is just grinning like an idiot.
I take it there is no problem with this, though you will likely, well, I say you'll likely wish to speak to your companions about it, but as Ms. Featherwind here has so accurately put it, they know what's good for them, and they also know not to piss off the governor if they can avoid it.
That is correct, sir.
And that usually involves not saying no to one unless it's absolutely necessary. I will let her detail your itinerary for the next 4 days or so, given that it's 4 individuals that you need to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
And I imagine that particularly with the individuals that you are effectively rescuing being in a safe haven for the moment, you could probably spend at least another little bit of time showing, reminding my secretary what a vacation looks like.
I will do everything in my power to help with that, sir.
And actually hands over a folded bit of parchment. Just because you know that just you saying it will not be of any particular...
I was just about to ask if I could get some paperwork to make that and make her understand that it's not just me.
She has been my secretary for quite some time. Some of that level of organization does rub off, even on someone as old as I am. You and yours are excused. I will probably be holding Andrin back for the time being, just on the basis that I believe there needs to be some communication with young Miss Harthart about whether a reunion is desired at this point. Andrin does speak up at that point. You see, it's not like it isn't. It's just I was expecting to have a little bit more time to prepare. I was in the middle of writing a letter, but I kind of don't have it anymore because it is now ash mixed with the ashes of my desk. So I probably need about 5 minutes or something if she even wants to talk to me, because midnight or so after my house burned down is probably not the best time for this. So I don't know, maybe we could have lunch or dinner when you get back from being yelled at by governors who are actually dragons. This has been the weirdest day! But I don't want her to be offended either, because she sounds nice, and I've heard things about the Hearthheart, so at least I know she was raised well. But I think after a day like this, everybody's too overwrought to have a proper conversation. We're just going to meeble at each other for a while, and that does not feel to me like the basis for any kind of familial relationship.
I do believe you have a point, sir, although I have to selfishly admit, watch the two of you meeple at each other would be good entertainment for the rest of us, but I agree that that's probably for the best.
I'll say, being like, you probably don't want that kind of stage show just before bed, though. Besides, it might distract you from basically giving Sheree 4 days of day trips to some of Equitas's best and brightest cities.
Yeah.
So you probably don't want to distract from that either.
You and your logic, as always.
I'll tell you what, I'll explain things to Hazel if you give the main report back to the rest of them.
You got it.
And Beherzet says, if you like, if it makes things more comfortable, we can send a carriage for Davith and the young ones. And Andrew's like, I kind of would like to have them nearby, and if we can't even look at each other without meebling at each other, I don't think sharing a roof would be a particularly good idea.
Yeah.
I'll send someone. I'm sure the Mobius twins won't mind. I think they're kind of used to surprises given the length of time you've stayed with them thus far. Dismissed.
Thank you.
Alice gets up as well and walk towards the double doors. I have to wonder if Ree is going to be disappointed or relieved that she doesn't have to give any actual report today.
5 copper on relieved.
I don't take sucker bets.
You can't blame a person for trying.
Nope. Opens up the door. And yeah, there's... That's another shirt that's going to need significant mending or replacing, and wings are kind of messed up again.
Remy will go to give her a side hug and offer her a cookie.
Which flavor, I have to know. Or was
The chocolate chip ones.
Given there were some with turmeric in them, you should know your wife better than that, but she obviously takes it quite happily. So, yeah, I'm going to let Barnabas give the whole gist of the report, but real quick, Hazel. Andron does want to meet you, but he doesn't want it to be tonight because you've all had we see where you get the vibrati.
Oh, yeah.
And verbal and physical flail and all of that. But to be fair, we also know where you get the wisdom, because he was basically going, he was trying to write to you when things caught. He was going to try to arrange something, but now when you're both overwrought would probably not end as well as he'd like it to end, or begin as well as he'd like it to begin. Either way, he basically said that you guys standing there meebling at each other for 5 minutes was not going to be proper foundations for any kind of familial relationship.
That's a very good point. Oh boy.
Well,
as much as I want to panic hug the man right now, that is a very, very good point.
Well, here's the thing. When you come by here, whenever we next do, or we can leave a message or something, maybe you can do what Ambier people do to express affection, most emotions. Feed the man. Take him to dinner.
That is a very good point. That is definitely what is happening.
Plus, according to various of the things I read, getting him to pick the place tells you a lot about him and shows you're interested.
Yeah.
In them in general, not just from a romantic standpoint. There's very different steps when it's a romantic thing, as Barnabas, you probably know. Anyway, I'm letting him give the actual report.
Well, to sum it up, Governor Zet does want us to continue on clearing up this mess with the Fallen and all that, but he's pointed out that we are capable of using teleportation circles and
More
basically
than once per day. I'd
more
like
than once
to.
per day. More than once per day. And we're, or basically we've been ordered to start the mornings by making our apology rounds to the rest of the governors for the next 4 days, and then come back and continue on the nonsense.
It gets it
Yeah.
out of the way and is a good use of time. Let's face it.
And
Yeah.
I'm not arguing. I don't think we should argue this whatso bleeping
Absolutely
ever.
not.
Nope.
No,
Um,
the slightest.
And Cherie,
No
looking
argument
up for
at
her
all.
desk, there's another reason for why than just the logic, isn't there? I can see it in your face.
yeah, actually, so, Governor Zet and Barnabas hands over the papers, has decided that you need a slight vacation and be attached to us while we make these, various trips. And
I'm not adverse to hanging out with you mornings. I'm not sure how much of a vacation it is when I'm apparently setting your itinerary and being a diplomatic firewall to their stupid.
wow, it's like he knows us.
Well, I don't have to
Ah,
worry about anything like that happening to my house. Nobody's getting near enough to really set fire to it properly without Woofles noticing. And the house has some other defenses just in case anyway. I'm apparently very good at my job, so I'm treated incredibly well. But yes, according to this, it is going to be my responsibility to make sure that you get out of bed at a reasonable time, do not dally through these kinds of things, and don't put respective lower walking appendages in your mouths.
You know, I kind of feel bad that I'm the one with hooves, so you guys just can't use feet there.
Actually, to be fair, this is boilerplate.
Oh, okay.
There's a standard. There's a standard. They stand a reasonable chance of being idiots. So, besides, you are not the only one with somewhat different lower appendages than the average foot. Gestures in a Faradayward direction.
Uh, yeah, but I would still call those feet. Right? Wrong? Whatever. Semantics.
Let's face it, we're talking about an actual dragon, so he may have a word for it the Dragonborn don't generally use because Dragonborn are generally different enough without having to have that level of specificity. Besides, anyone who actually really needs to wear shoes all the time doesn't have feet as most bipeds have feet.
Wow. Excellent point.
Right, so, I mean, we're getting on time-wise now, but I think I can be at the Bone Orchard to make sure everybody is in some semblance of order at about 8:30, 9?
That sounds good.
And yes, I will do my level best to keep you out of trouble. To be honest, there is another noted reason. Having me there makes you, at least in part, a delegation from the governor of another province, which means that you get to bypass the usual audience queues. So you're not going to have to wait for an appointment while I'm with you.
I mean, that's just an added bonus as far as I'm concerned, but
Yeah. And Alice is also, do not expect to find Davith, Trish, and Brian at the Bone Orchard. Andrin obviously wanted them near, so and he thought that sharing a roof with Hazel at this point would be more meebling cues, so he's having them all moved over here. Besides, to be fair, they've had a traumatic evening. They probably don't need that at this point. I mean, the bones, Alana, the mice, Fluffy. Have to wonder how the kids are enjoying Michigan.
Oh boy.
What? I mean, Michigan is a pet and looked fairly friendly. Just a bit gremlin-ish.
I was gonna say, I'm thinking that can be summed up with gremlin.
You guys have all met Evan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Gremlin multiplier is what we're looking at.
I mean, basically, Michigan is Evan without opposable thumbs. Does the, weird and gremlin-esque just to get snugged. Just beware if Michigan ever gets the idea of hugs from above. Because, wings makes hugs from above really, really possible. Ask me how I know.
I'm gonna need a helmet.
And Cherie is like, I'm sure they will eventually get somebody to walk me home, but I should flag up that on Ballinor Street there is a place that should be able to help with some of the wing scorches. There's a specific sort of mending that you can do on feathers. You probably want to do that as soon as possible. I mean, unless you want Alana to try it. I don't think she ever has. All I'll say is just, can we take a detour on the way back to the Bone Orchard? I really don't want Alana doing this to my wings. Or trying to. I don't want to be mushrooms! Right. So, yeah, with a brief stop at a place that's apparently a cross between veterinarian and groomers, and they're really not entirely used to having like humanoid bipeds come in for wing treatment, but they rally magnificently. And Alice is grateful, but there's a certain amount of this is demeaning. But there's nobody who specializes in this for humanoids, or bipeds at least, because there aren't really any Aarakocra that you can see around here, so. And beyond that, is there anything anybody wants to do before bedtime?
The too much stress, too much vibration, I am gonna just heal over the minute I get the opportunity.
Yeah, well, when Hazel first walks in the door, it's sort of Michigan going spring and doing the loaf thing on top of your head. Because apparently you found that balancing.
Hi, how has been gremlinness?
Snug.
Huh. Not entirely expecting that. Latch. And just hold in front again.
Snug. Snug, please?
Snug.
Snug.
Yeah. You are a delight. In the
Gremlin.
case of that, yes.
Yeah, by the time you get in, Ava and Clarity, I'm just going to say, have already crashed out. Niala just being like, they saw off the kids and then flump. It's been a long day for a lot of them. You guys too.
Oh, yeah.
Which point Alana looks at Barnabas and is like, what happened to your fur?
Helping people get out of a burning building. It's
I bet I can fix it. I'm gonna fix it. You.
Oh, dear God.
You were at the grooming place. You had an option to fix this.
I was at wasn't no.
That was me out of character, but you probably got Alice uh, just giving a twitch of the wings, like.
You're basically saying exactly that. It's like mm.
And Alana zooms back and gives this. Holds a bottle. It appears to be fur shampoo.
All right. Thank you.
You know where the baths are, right?
Yes.
Okay. Are you going to do that?
Yes, I am.
Okay, let's have a quick look. See. Yeah, your hair grows. Your fur and various bits do grow back out approximately the way you had them, but you do have cause to notice that you might be ever so slightly green.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I'm gonna worry about that in the morning.
Yeah, so probably just as well because we're getting on to what's going to be firework time for me fairly soon. So we'll see you in a few minutes, whenever this bullshit ends, and we'll continue on our merry way. And we're back, after having keeled over after a significantly fraught evening. Um, Probably woken slightly earlier than you want to be by Niala hammering on doors and going, somebody's girlfriend brought breakfast. Food.
Barnabas goes from unconscious to perfectly awake immediately.
They partly brought breakfast, but is cooking the last minute bits. So, move.
None of you are going to be faster than Barnabas, I can tell you that much right now.
Yes, well, as Barnabas gets down these... Yeah, when Barnabas gets down the stairs first, what he sees is... these aren't just your regular jam donuts, these are Polish-style jam donuts, so the particularly rich ones. And Cherie is at the stove with Alana kind of attempting to hover just to see what's going on. Seems to be sort of an eggs, kielbasa, and fried potato kind of skillet casserole thing going on. But also Barnabas will notice that Shri looks ever so slightly, will you please leave my personal space as far as Alana goes, but she's cooking, so.
Barnabas will insert himself between Shuri and
Can't, because literally
mm,
over shoulder, so.
Alana, give the cook some room to work.
But she's doing new stuff!
Yes, but it's a bit uncomfortable being perched like that.
I'm fine. You didn't specify who it was uncomfortable for. This is Alana we're talking about.
No.
Yeah, Alice, mostly in the search for coffee, steps in and round about the time is, I'm fine. Looks at Barnabas, what? This isn't fine, is it?
No.
Right? Steps over to Alana. Grab. Hey! It flips over shoulder.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. I don't think that Nyala is going to give me problems, and she'll probably give you problems if you attempt to mushroom me. I wasn't gonna! Much. If you stop breathing directly into Cherie's ear, maybe she'll teach you how to cook that. Sort of, from Cherie. Okay, I'll deal with sort of. Good. Deposits in chair. I'm assuming that at least Remy is more or less directly behind, so it's just sort of watching the grab. Yoink, thump. Thank you, by the way, Cherie. Well, it's not the standard meal with the the family unit in whatever form the family unit takes, but this is all pretty unconventional anyway, so help yourself to the donuts. I'm pretty sure they're not quite to the recipe you're used to.
Barnabas tries it. How good is it?
Well, as I say, it's Anbeer, so all the absolute best of all the absolute best of ingredients, but also, yeah, just significantly rich and with a sort of a plum jam that is a bit more like home than anything you've tasted here. It's sort of in the middle, so it's the powder donut kind of situation. And Alice says, just, I'm going to take one before you eat the whole plate.
Take them all from me, please.
Cherie kind of tilts head, no, I'm going to take one before you eat them all because I'm seeing the set of that woman's shoulders and she wants you to have lots of them. Guys, the good donuts are going to be gone if you don't get your asses down here soon.
I have rebooted enough to make it down the stairs.
Yeah, at which point Alice literally just shoves a donut into Hazel's face.
Unquote.
Darwin, point, 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 point.
For
I heard
Darvin,
donuts!
sure, Darvin, she just, yeah, gets Remy one as well as coffee how she likes it. And Clarity is doing her usual. Donut.
I'm fussing about coffee, making sure this one's caffeinated enough to enjoy a donut.
It's well, while Hazel's looking for coffee, it's like Cherie is going, I made coffee. What do you take me for? Poor.
You are amazing.
I do my best.
Thank you.
Clarity when she wakes up sufficiently. So, Hazel said something about us doing apologies in the mornings?
Yep.
And that's why Cherie is down here making breakfast?
Shiri is apparently attached
Yep.
to our whole thing, acting as both a
Yep.
barrier between us and our own stupid, and a barrier between us and utterly furious governors.
Ava's like, that's fair. That's fair. Clarity is nodding, but also going, in order to not make that quite so hard, I might ask to stay here. I'm going to... the governor and I might have words, and it sounds from Barnabas saying that she's already angry, that it would really be badly timed. So Ava's like, it's probably a good idea, actually. I'll stay with her. You should see if there's any fallout, aftermath, etc. And I'll say, just besides, we have somebody who can actually explain if Andrin turns up, where you guys are, and set up a meeting place for a dinner or something.
Thank you so much.
In the meantime, Cherie is putting this basically breakfast skillet kind of thing, which is eggs, kielbasa, potatoes, fair bit of paprika, and other herbs and bits and pieces, and just dishing out to folks. She brings out fruit stuffed crepes for Rylan. I got the general understanding that you're not overly fond of meat, so I wanted to provide options.
And I appreciate that.
There are another couple in the oven for you when you're done with your skillet, by the way. Looking at Barnabas.
Thank you.
Smooch as she sits down. So, yeah, if we can finish fairly quickly, we can get the show on the road, because the sooner we go, the sooner we come back, and probably be a good idea. So, your teleportation circle, yours is the one that comes out in the basement break area at the Tipsy Pixie, right? Yes, it is.
Yes.
Well, that's better than using the governor's one at her own palace. And I know there is one, but I think it only gets given out to the extremely worthy.
Right now, that's so not us. Well, according to. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll impress her soon enough with something or other. But like I say, the sooner we get the food into you and the wakefulness into you, the sooner we go and the sooner we come back. I mean, in all fairness, after first bite, it doesn't take that much urging. So it's sort of... She does give a plate to Nyala and Alana, and Nyala is quietly grateful. Alana is doing the very, very tiny bites, like she's trying to identify every flavor in every mouthful.
God damn it, Alana.
Looking at her like, I don't have a recipe and I'll only get approximates, so I might as well do it this way. Cherie is just... The look is somehow I never get quite used to that. And when
So, I have a question. Given the last time I tried to speak with the governor. Should I or should I not keep my mouth shut is my question. Because on the one hand, I kind of think I should, but on the other hand, I might not. I don't know. I wanted opinions here.
Clarity is like, well, I know that I'm staying here because I know that I might, so. And Shuri is like, if she's particularly annoyed at you, you have to be there. I think that unless you are directly addressed, you give an apology, just an I am sorry for the trouble our actions have caused, and then, as I say, do not speak until spoken to.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Which was basically what I thought would be the case, so thank you.
You need to stop second-guessing yourself. You've had the advice from all of these people, and the only reason that you're not internalizing it is because you know you can always continuously ask them, when all you need to do is ask yourself, what would Alice do? What would Remy do? What would Barnabas do? You need to be able to do that for when you can't speak
Shut up and listen.
to these people. Yeah, and
Right.
Alice is, yeah, listen.
They default to shut up and listen.
Yeah, listen, think, shut the fuck up. Right.
Fair enough. You're right. My bad.
It's not so much your bad exactly, it's your stumbling block to growth. So she's putting a couple of the fruit claps in front of Barnabas.
Thank you.
I'm getting better.
Yes, if you wouldn't mind finishing that up fairly quickly, we should get this over with. So at least so this one won't be hanging over your head.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair.
Oddly enough, I'm actually looking forward to getting this one over. I'm
I
actually
am
this
so
is the
very
one that I should fear most, but I fear least.
Okay, that may be a lack of survival instinct.
Probably.
They got you there. They got you there.
Oh, true. I'm not exactly a hard read.
Also, I am a secretary. It's part of my job. But you probably want to develop a respect for your own life, because however frustrating you can occasionally be to have on side, I believe all of these people would miss you very much. And then they would have a very long, hard road to vengeance, probably entirely covered with blood. And even with prestidigitation, it takes some time to get that much blood out of boot treads. Not to mention hooves.
All my fur.
Let's put it this way: I will not willingly go to my end, at least anytime soon.
You will not knowingly
Many decades down the line.
I'm sure there's a better way to phrase that, because I think knowingly, because you never know what situation will be your end. You will not hasten your own end by your actions.
There you go.
Dying is
Or
verboten,
energies, yes.
whatever. Not allowed. What language did I slide into that time?
Weirdly enough, Dwarven.
How?
Alice is like, didn't Sweet Shop in your town is run by dwarves.
Yeah. I had to say, sweet shop.
Oh my god! I
to
picked up something from that. I picked up something from that.
To be fair,
that was yelled at you at one point or another.
No, what I was about to say out of character is now that Hazel thinks about it, it was yelled at her all the time.
And now I understand why I picked that up.
Yeah.
There was a lot of dwarven yelling. Now I'm just realizing I apparently figured out what that meant.
Let's face it, everybody else has their dwarves be Irish or something. Why not German?
German dwarf. Considering Egref is like half German, that would track.
Either way, I'm assuming that Barnabas made an attempt to save her, but once done savoring Hoover.
Exactly.
I will take that as a compliment. Shall we? And Niala is like, you are not drawing a summoning circle on our kitchen floor. We have a specific space for drawing teleportation circles, summoning circles, etc. And Alana is just, you're gonna let her into the playroom? I do not believe you still call that the playroom. Summoning circles, remember? Yeah, Michigan, who has been fed, obviously, and fed and occasionally nabbed tidbits from Hazel, is now tucking himself as much as possible into Hazel's outer cloak and is refusing to move.
Trying to reach.
Alice is like, just take the little gremlin with us. I think that I don't think that Kreia Bendis is going to be bitchy enough to do harm to the little bugger.
Yeah, I was about to insist on bringing the gremlin with us, regardless, but I'm wanting to bring you. Get out of here! I can carry you normally.
As soon as you do actually admit to wanting to bring anyway, it's just immediately let's go and settles in preparation for snug.
You are staying up front
Snug.
for a reason.
Snug. Can you point us to the to the playroom, please? And Niala gives directions, and Shreya's just, okay, let's go. And yeah, the room you find yourself in is a reasonable-sized square room. The walls are a bit of a mess. There are scorch marks. There are bits that must be mildew on the wallpaper. There's actively mushrooms growing in some corners.
Any of these crystalline?
A couple.
Should we be worried about those? Indicating
I would not touch them. Alana knows about them, I think. But yes, it looks like they do, or she does, elemental summoning and the like in here. In any case, I did send word ahead that we are going to be there, which is kind of why I've been rushing you around. All part of the service, you understand. We will... our appointment will be in about a half an hour, but it's always good to get there a little bit early. It's better for us to have to wait than to make her wait.
Very true.
So, Darvin, if you would.
And yes, does draw up the circle.
And with a good luck from the from Ava and Clarity in the door. The teleportation circle is open, and y'all can noom. And yeah, you're into the somewhat cramped basement space of the Tipsy Pixie. And you head up the stairs into, again, the break room. And it's morning, so people are starting to get ready, so they're getting into the state of largely unclothed. So a lot of them are in the various spots between fully clothed, as much as you tend to be in desert, dressed for work, and entirely not clothed in anything. And none of them actually care all that much, but are looking and going, Alice, you brought the wife! Yeah. We're here largely on business, but we don't have that much time. But how have you guys been? Oh, same old, same old. If you don't want to have to stop and talk for half an hour, I'd suggest going now, because Emil is going to want to see you and say hi. Yeah. We'll noom. Sure, he's like, so this is the Tipsy Pixie. I've seen a few reports mentioning it, but never actually been here. Nice place. Liz steps out into the main room. And obviously not seeing it at its absolute best, because this is morning. This time is about the main ebb time, I think. Sure, he's like, looks at Alice, and it's like, so they seem to know you pretty well. Yeah. Well, they should. I worked with them for a few years. Looks at Remy. That's where you've met, isn't it?
Yep.
Oh, damn. There's more to that. There is more to that story. I can see it in your face.
There is an entire arc dedicated to it, probably in certain productions, that I would recommend hearing from these people first before even going near the production.
It might take longer than the walk to Kreia Bendis's, so.
I don't think so. You really haven't. You used to do military reports, and it's not that long a story. Her dad was a brass arrow. Her mom worked here.
Yes, there was that too.
That was all she was talking about in terms of more than the story. Oh, if you mean the slaying of the unnaturally large red dragon, I know that from other reports.
That's the whole arc that would have taken a bit more time.
Yes, but as Alice was right, that was there was a sheepishness to the having met a spouse at the Tipsy Pixie that anyway. And just saunters through into the quiver, where for the most part brass arrows aren't actually allowed, and since Farida was not at the wedding, I don't think she got the mark the same as the others did. So
she wouldn't have, no.
And they all seem to know who's wearing one, so if people start walking past and they look at Farida, it's like, is she a trainee? Shuri looks at this guy. Okay, I don't have a mark. You know why I'm getting in here anyway. This is gubernatorial business, and it's not necessary for this. Very well. And as you guys wander past, Alice is like, we're gonna have to go back for Ava when all of this is over anyway, because she still wants a trip to the Temple of Nerul. Remember, for the Stone of Farewell? But this is just a quick who's he what's it, and maybe if she's not too pissed, we can see if we can make something on the trip there a trial for you. And if we have to hunt any more bullshit in here, it would help. And they probably won't test you particularly hard. I may have died the most times. You've been dead the longest.
Yeah.
So, I think if anybody around here knows the touch of death, it's us.
Yeah.
And onward to the palace and... oh, shit. I forgot that lift is very small and your party was smaller when this all happened, or at least had fewer people. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna have to ask every single one of you with with Faraday and Barnabas being at disadvantage for this to roll me acrobatics checks.
Oh boy.
Hey, this
Not
is
that
fun
great,
because
is it?
my acrobatics is ass.
Your acrobatics is ass.
You're a fighter. You have physical
I rolled a
stats.
nat 5. What the fuck?
Yeah, but acrobatics is dex, and fighters don't focus on dex.
Not all of them, but yeah, Barnabas's form definitely doesn't.
Oh no.
Well, let's face
Yep.
it, he's a Minotaur.
Yeah, he's also
That was a
big.
nat 20 and a nat 1. What are those odds?
True.
Oh, that straight up has happened to me multiple times recently. Strahd caused me problems.
Yeah, so, okay,
I love it.
here's the question. Have y'all ever heard of phone booth cramming?
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
Oh boy! There's a similar technique on Japanese metros.
I think it's a little better now, but anyway, point is that try as you might, you all are not fitting in there. Remy and Rylan try to get in first so they can squish into corners, but Darvin and Hazel haven't exactly learned how to not take up much space. And
Especially
Faraday...
with the instrument to deal with.
Yeah, and Faraday and Barnabas are... Faraday manages to kind of wiggle her way in, and then Barnabas tries to fit and is sort of winds up half in and half out of the elevator. And now, because let's face it, that was absolute crap. Now he's kind of stuck.
Uh-oh.
Wait a minute. He does the echo thing to get the hell out. It's like, nope, this isn't working.
Okay, everybody back out of the elevator. This is from Cherie.
Wow.
Well, once Barnabas is no longer blocking the entire doorway, you all can get back out. It's just that
I think I had somebody's elbow in my kidney.
Again, I know. Shuri is like, okay, yes, this is why I was drafted into watching out for you people. Okay, so I am going to take Barnabas and Faraday up with me. This leaves the smaller-ish of you, and sorry, but at least one common sense. I'll get them up there on one piece. In you go.
In we go.
Matic infinite thanks.
Beep. Comes back down again. Okay, yeah, probably largest first, and that's probably me because of wings. And at that point, the rest of you can more or less fit in, no problem. Alice suggesting to Darwin that he he have his back to a corner to accommodate his viol the way she's accommodating her wings right now. And Hazel probably in last and using another one of the corners to similarly let her axe take up less room. Because I'm assuming she didn't go to this unarmed and unarmored. Kreia Bendis would not respect you if you didn't come in full kit.
Part of the morning setup before we even went to the circle space was me getting strapped up, producing axe, producing all the other kit, and I'm loaded down. There's about at least another layer of bulk than usual.
And you're in a desert setting.
Yeah, so I'm a little bit roasted, even from the brief walk.
And you step into, for those of you who have not seen Kreia Bendis' throne room, I'm not going to pull up the map, but fairly large room, large enough to comfortably accommodate an ancient dragon, frankly. Most of the space in the center of this sort of hexagonal room is full of beautiful ornate rugs and throw pillows. It's this kind of conversation nook. And towards the back of the room, on a pedestal, is a giant claw, which apparently serves as a throne. Because sitting in it is, and I think it's only Farida who hasn't seen Kreia Bendis, but Dawn, you've heard the description, so you don't know. Oh, of course, because Rylan wasn't at the wedding. You fit in so well that it's like you've been here forever. Basically, think Wonder Woman as she should be drawn. Buff, like significant buff, long dark hair, just kind of couple of braids.
Aggressively Greek.
Pretty much. The certain amount of there's a certain amount of Boudica in there as well. So
that's terrifying.
Brass chased breastplate, a giant fuck off glaive that she's. If you know that scene in Black Panther when they go up to a guy from Monkey Clan, that's the posture, effectively. And Cherie steps in front of all y'all, as those of you who have never seen her actual throne room are staring. Steps in front, gives a bow. Governor Bendis, as per your recent communications to Governor Zet, I present to you the Cupcake Coterie, minus a couple who were needed elsewhere, but as it was clearly necessary to... they felt it was remiss of them to not have come sooner, and they finally figured out a way to fit that into their otherwise unfortunately busy schedule. So, I will let them take it away. Looks at the rest of you. You all have he sent you with even better common sense.
Yes.
You apparently need a double layer of it to face me. Alright, why am all of a sudden I being known now as... We had this discussion. Well, 3 of you and I had this discussion. You know how I feel about this, and now is thrust upon me from stupid in Anbir. What stupid prompted this?
a wide-scale anti-magic field and an organization holding Protector Azamar effectively hostage. An organization run by Scourge Azamar. And attempted solutions led to what can only be described as a revolt by said Scourge Azamar, and emergency measures had to be taken.
It's amazing how she can use these many words and leave. Is like that. It's like that weird cheese you get in N beer with all the holes.
I'm
Does somebody want to give me any kind of detail about this?
just going to gesture pleadingly to Barnabas, basically.
We were trying to get the Azima released from confinement. Alice ended up getting captured, and we fucked up repeatedly in trying to rescue her, and it all sort of cascaded from there.
Alice, like, from what I understand of the story, it wasn't so much that you fucked up. It was just that there were a lot of different paths, and each one sounded better than the last, and it led to a lot of veering back and forth.
It was still a cock-up cascade, however you look at it. We fucked up.
Which point, Bendis turns around and looks at Alice, so, yeah, you got yourself captured. Pretty much deliberately, actually. They needed hope. They needed somebody who had been out there and knew it wasn't some place to be afraid of, and the captain's second was really against that and basically pushed the captain to be the same. And honestly, I don't really know what happened next, because I also wanted to prove that you could actually get your freedom if you fought for it hard enough. And, of course, they managed to basically show that as being a load of absolute crap until rescue actually came. So, effectively, this is your fault.
We were trying to find a diplomatic solution.
Yes, but you wouldn't have had to do that in the first place if this one hadn't come in and stirred everybody up. And yes, freedom is a good thing, but maybe not in a way that actually stirs up the natives quite this much.
We didn't know just how bad things were. We're still lacking a lot of information, but...
Yes, I understand you have left a massive mess now in Ambir.
It's likely that Jessamy and some of the other
are attempting to
Fallen
deal
are
with, yes.
being ordered by someone, something else worse, and given everything else going on the continent, that's a really bad sign, and we didn't know that, so we didn't know that diplomacy was never really going to work. And Bahir Zet intervened to stop a fight from turning into a massacre.
Oh, yes, he's, Oh, you. Go ahead.
What I will say, what prompted this whole thing is we were tasked by essentially Paler's right hand to see to all of this, which also added another complication in a way. And that may or may not have had bearing on why the events played out the way they did. I'm still not totally certain. Just trying to provide a full picture.
So, your solar patron, your solar progenitor, asked you to do this. In the interest of full disclosure, as I understand it, that was asked as part of a boon to repair something that I did to my own soul by accident. Excuse you?
Hmm.
Look, I was mostly in a whole heaping lot of pain at the time, so there were apparently bubble dimensions or something. But mostly it was just a lot of screaming pain and then not so much, and suddenly I wasn't a barbarian anymore. I was a weird kind of monk. And a bard, still. I kept that, so that's good. Does somebody who was not mostly unconscious at this time want to explain something? Looking at Remy at that point.
It was part of the process to heal her, and when the right hand of Paylor asks something in return, it's not as whenever you want to get to it. It was the priority, and those people most certainly needed help.
A lot of this seems to be boiling down to this one getting herself into the stupid. Alice is just like, looking at her like, excuse you?
And with a problem that had to be solved one way or the other, it had been overdue already.
Yes, but again, it involved this one hurting herself by stupid. Sometimes you have to take an injury for a tactical advantage. If things change too fast for them to be able to actually cope with them, they'll learn a bit more flexibility. But none of what I did, at least at that point, was stupid. I had a plan. They were a lot more ruthless than anybody had suspected. I mean, I knew I was going to have some issues when I got there, but I sure as hell didn't know they were going to start massacring everybody from the kids on up. And as to the other thing, I'm sorry, when a bubble dimension basically opens up and swallows you, like, it just pooped right there. It's not like I jumped into it willingly, like, come on in, the nightmare's fine. Still the alpha bitch, I see. So, alright. All the same, however much you attempt to justify this, I am assuming that an apology is in there somewhere, but you all know me by this point. I'm probably going to want a little bit more than apologies from you people.
Understandable, ma'am.
So I want you to have a think about what item, boon, whatever you might be willing to offer to me to make this up.
Understood.
Remy grits her teeth.
Do be thinking, I can wait. Suggestion, you're not leaving this room until you think of something.
Turn to everybody. Huddle. Insisting everybody huddle up so we can figure this out quickly before we commit to any more foot in mouth or other dumb. So
You knew she was gonna be a bitch about it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
how
Yes,
do we do?
We have a
Can
thing.
I
We have a think among us about what
Okay.
a brass dragon might want.
would insight
Mhm.
help at all to give me some inkling as to what might be a decent idea? Because out of character, I have no clue.
I mean, for insight, the target's going to be a bit high. Honestly, unfortunately, Ava would have been your best shot here because she's the authority on dragons, but I would like Hazel to make me a wisdom check.
I can also make a direct insight as well.
Check, do the wisdom first, because that's gonna make a big difference.
Okay. That is a 15.
You do
Because my
recall.
wisdom.
You do recall you have that book of your parents.
Whole book. I'm reaching in bag, pulling book.
Yeah, the
And
one on dragons. And they do have some specific. They do have some specific ones when you start looking into the metallics section.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Kreia Bendis, the brass dragon of Alzar High and Alama-Ver in general, obviously is a dragon, so material for the Horde is always good, but what? I mean, look at her throne room. Look at the people she runs. She's gonna want trophies and conversations about how those trophies were got. So what you need to do is think or ask someone who might know better about the biggest, nastiest thing that might impress Kreia Bendis for you to hunt. You'd have to make that a priority after sorting out the mess, while still making apologies along the way, but if you offer that, as in, like, you will not, you will not darken her doorstep until that thing is dead or you die trying, then that's a possibility. So it's stuff for the Horde, or wonderful trophy and the stories behind it, or information.
So we can either go with info, unique information, hunting something particularly nasty down, bringing back a trophy and a story about it. And while this is probably not going to fly quite as well, material for a dragon horde. And which technically those first two consist of, but those are unique types of material for her.
Yeah, you're thinking like gold, gems, that kind of thing. Cause, well, I mean, yeah, unless you were talking about Viavaled, who wants books, scrolls, magical items, etc. too. Honestly, yeah, I'd go for the trophy. Looking at her, not to mention it's something.
I'm going to also. Can I look and using that sort of try and insight which of those three?
Well, no, because that should be Ethan, because Darvin asked first.
Then yeah, then I'm going to just help with this.
Yeah, so Darvin gets advantage. Actually, Darvin also gets an additional D8 inspiration. Do you want to roll the inspiration die? I shouldn't have to warn you about this. It's not like you're going to use it for anything.
We can't hear you, man.
Yeah. I could just see the shaking head, and I'm like, it's not like you're going to be using it for anything else.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at that going, 18? No, I don't know if I need the 1d8.
I think you should go for it just to be safe.
Can I remind you that you're dealing with Can I remind you that you're dealing with a dragon?
Also that.
DC might be 20, might be 25.
Point. All right. Roll 1. Whoops, hang on. Wrong keyboard. / roll 1d8. So 18 plus 3, 21.
you should be glad that
All told.
you should be glad that you rolled the. The
21 was my
only reason
difficulty, probably.
20. Smeagol was right, but
Oh.
the only reason I warned you about it this time is that maybe I know you don't give yourself inspiration, and a lot of the time Alice is using hers for flourishes, but so just reminding you how they work, and sometimes they are important.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
no.
you.
Her brass arrows tend to bring in information anyway, so you don't really have any way of knowing what of that's unique. And even if you double up on a particular trophy from a particular creature, the story of how you got it will be different. And all things considered, you're probably clever enough to know that for creatures and the like, if Ava's not around to talk about them all that much, Alice would probably be the person to ask if you have an idea like right now. Well, if she has an idea like right now, what would be the ideal trophy? So that's what you get.
Given the severity of the given the complete abolition of the status quo, this is not something that can be materially addressed just in gems or gold. I don't believe. I think trophies would be the best way to go, even if we do go after something that's already been gone after. How we do it, what happens, will be different. And I'll turn to Alice because Darvin, obviously knowing she's lived here, I'll turn to Alice. Alice, would you have any suggestions as to what we might go after?
Yeah, to start with, nothing from here. Nothing from here. Because all brass arrows do their trials here.
I should have, duh. Thank you.
So...
That was a dumb question.
No, it wasn't. You're learning. I think the absolute best thing we could do is something from the wastes. Something from Aembuck.
Ooh.
How many people...
Because my only other thought...
I mean, how many people will bring something from that far away? Now, there's a few options.
Probably not many.
There are a few options that I can think of from myths and lore kind of thing, but I do have a suggestion to make. We tell her the approximate region and then let it be a surprise. Have this be a taster sample. And if necessary, I can very much vouch for it will be something out of some of our biggest, baddest legends. I'm a little sorry to have to make this deal without Ava and Clarity around, but we gotta do something, and I don't think that either of them are ever particularly against finding something big and nasty to shoot.
Well, and if nothing else, if it's one less big nasty in the world, it makes the world a safer place. So let's spin it on that level too, if nothing else.
If I could always try to do two birds with one stone.
To them anyway, the Kreia Bendis.
Well, that's what I mean.
Well, that's the thing. Kreia Bendis clearly doesn't care about anybody's safety at this point.
Oh.
She's very much. I think she's very much of the. If you take care of yourselves, if you can take care of yourselves, take care of yourselves kind of thing, and doesn't understand anyone who can't.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, yeah. So yeah, big up. we will offer you a trophy from one of the most legendary nasties of Eombach. And if she tries to pry for details and you're lost for bombast, just gesture in my general direction. But all things considered, I don't think you should be the one making the statement, Darwin.
Agreed.
Ree, she kind of respects you.
All right.
Sorry, I'm trying to let Remy work on her charisma because once we get out of some of this and everybody's turning up to sessions again, etc., I am still looking at level up. I just need all of you here at the same time. Anyway, so yes, breaking the huddle and still leaning. You quite finished?
Yes. We will go to Ayumbuk and find the most powerful, most legendary monster there and slay it and bring you the trophy and the story of it.
A legendary. There are a great many legends.
We'll find the one that's true.
Alice is. What she means is we will find the one whose challenge makes it the best possible story for you. And beyond that, sometimes anticipation spices the dish. Yes, I can see you two make an absolutely wonderful team because, yes, legends, for the most part, in this world, have a lot more truth to them than you might find in, say, this one's world. I have a feeling. Gesturing in a Barnabas word direction. What, do you think I don't know you came from someplace else? You think I do not talk to my sister?
No, I know that. I'm just wondering how much you know of my.
Not a great deal, but it sounds very ordered, and sometimes when you have legends, they really are just great balls of legend wrapped around the tiniest kernel of truth, like how you make pearl.
I see.
Whereas in our case, he is more how you glaze cupcake.
Okay. I won't argue the point.
I will give you 1 month. If you do not have, and I'll say just hand on Remy's shoulder and I'll thank her when she's done talking. If you do not have my trophy and my story by then, I have the means to just bring you here and take my own trophies. Or as has been said previously, I might invite you to dinner. As in to be mine, because some of you apparently need that explained, looking at Rylan.
No, that I understood immediately.
I have not been introduced to these two.
Rylan and Jency, they do magic.
You do meeple. And magic. Okay.
Yeah.
And there is a similarity, and yes, my sister has talked much, but I have not had proper introduction.
Farida gives a little bow. I am Farida of Rhyme Hook. You would have met my younger brother. I am a sorceress of the storm.
You gender it. This is interesting. I've never met a sorcerer who made it. But if that is what you like, then very well. Sorry, I think he's
It is.
cute.
Thank you.
Out of character, good call. She'd never call anything cute unless she actually meant it. Well, you seem to be involved more than your brother, which is something.
I try. It's hard keeping up with things sometimes, but I do my best.
It's probably also hard when you're watching everyone to learn all the things.
Very much, yes. Too much time thinking, not enough talking.
This is why
there is a good middle ground.
Yes, but I hope you actually stop at the middle ground, because knowing this is probably what makes me like you one of the best of all of this. 1 month. Looks at Cherie. You can tell my brother that he did relatively well in sending you, because honestly, if you had not given the initial, and if I was a little bit less worried about the kind of collateral damage that would probably get my brother yelling at me, this would have gone a terrible lot worse. Yes, that's kind of why he sent me. It was lovely to see you again. We will speak again. I believe you are one of the ones that's going to be dropping by next week for the Festival of Sune. Well, I haven't been back to Her Grace's Bower in a while. It might be a nice sort of thing. Out of character for Remy, Darvin, Hazel, even Faraday knows this. Ryland's a little shaky on this one. He knows it's a kind of important day, but not exactly what it is. And Barnabas probably has a similar thing. The Festival of Sune is a less commercial version of our world's Valentine's Day.
The holiday I would have guessed.
Well, just in case somebody didn't remember that Sune was the goddess of love and beauty.
Yeah.
So, yes, if you're going to make provision for that,
my
fine.
God's confused.
Okay, off with you. I actually have work to do today rather than listening to this. I'll say gives a bow and heads out.
And GTFOing.
And irony of ironies, Alice actually has to ask as they're heading out. Okay, Festival of Sune? Come on, I worked... Well, first I was living in effectively the closest Belarus has to slums, and a whole lot of celebrating going on. Number 2, the people don't do a whole lot of that kind of thing. And the Tipsy Pixie, given it Sune, they probably celebrated it every day, although I do think that around this time of year, Kizzy always got a bit more devout.
It's a holiday to honor Sune with things about love and beauty and appreciating your partners, or appreciating these topics in general, depending on your status.
Mm-hmm.
Is it at all weird that I think the
And
best answer might result from actually asking Kizzy directly?
Yeah, but we're not going to have... Well, I suppose we might have that much time, given
no
that...
time. Well,
Well, at least part
yeah.
of this is supposed to involve Barnabas being able to take his lady to lunches. And then Alice says, no, wait, because we have to let Barnabas vet a restaurant for you guys for tonight.
Oh,
It's okay, I can sense they want to keep it a surprise. Let's face it, Aldor High isn't exactly the, not as good as Egref for lunch dates. Or Belarus street market food.
mhm.
So we can head back, and they can let you actually try the restaurant that you're going to be taking me to later on. Don't worry, we'll be able to spend more time together in places like Belarus or Egref. Or Demille. Have you seen the donut shop in Demille? Yes, you did. You fell to your knees out of character.
Mhm.
You
Yes, I did.
broke him.
It did not break me, but it was a moment of worship.
You had a religious experience involving baked goods. I wonder which of...
It was that good.
Actually, Hazel, when thinking about this, knows that's a Bayery thing.
Oh, we need to introduce you to the entirety of the Bayery contingent when we get back to
To be fair,
Amber.
the Feast of Bayery happens in around about high summer, just around the time when the crops are starting to come in. The first crops are starting to come in, and it's effectively a week of feasting and libations to Bayery to, you know, let the rest of the harvest be as good as this, and like I say, mostly feasting, dancing.
So just to clarify a little bit, if we go back to Amber during the height of summer, there is an entire week of the best of the harvest that will be turned into a feast and a celebration across the board. I'm fairly certain that if you were to actually see it,
There would probably be more falling to your knees, yes.
at minimum, the words religious experience don't cover this properly, at least if your reaction to the donuts in Demille were anything to go by. That will be small potatoes. I think one could make donuts out of potatoes.
Out of character, they actually made donuts out of potatoes in Demille. Those were the first donuts
those
you had.
were potato donuts. That would be the only kind of vegetable that would manage to survive there. It's all below. I'm just going off on a ramble.
No, some of it's less expensive to make potato donuts, but the shop up there, the whole donut shop, was very much thriving enough to afford the flour, whereas the first donuts were at an inn, so that was kind of a sideline.
Right.
And Cherie pats Barnabas on the on the arm and goes, I think if you don't object, I might get you out of bed a little bit early tomorrow morning, because while I made the donuts for this morning, you should see our version of that donut shop in Demille.
No objections whatsoever, dear. None.
Come along, this has oddly been a very good respite, but we still have things to sort out. And besides, the longer we're away, the more Clarity and Ava might convince themselves that you got killed and eaten.
We need to go. We have to go. We need to very much go.
And yeah, because we're running well past time, but then again, we started a bit late, so yeah. But when we come back in 2 weeks' time, hopefully with more of the rest of us, we can actually get on to dealing with the rest of the problems before we have to go slay Peter to pay Paul. So, Happy New Year from, like, the future, basically.
Oh, yeah, you are in the future.
And see you guys.